portion of the show. That part where we examine those three little words that men find so hard to say. I don't know. Excellent, way to go. Okay, now, on the expert portion of the show this week, joining my Uncle Red Green, of course, is his best friend in the whole wide room, Mr. Dalton Humphreys. Okay, our first letter goes as follows. Dear experts, I want to cook vegetarian, but meat is all my husband will eat. How can I get him to eat a balanced diet?
Well, I think you got to remember here there are two major food groups. There's meat and there's salt. So your husband's already halfway there.
Well, wait. Haven't you forgotten, like, dairy and fruits and vegetables and grains?
Well, no, we haven't forgotten them, Harold. We just figured that if you can't say anything good about something.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a healthy, balanced male diet, you want to vary your kinds of meat.
Yeah.
Variety of cuts, variety of grades, variety of barbecue sauce. Around our home, we will have as many as 17 different kinds of meat in a week.
17 different kinds of meat? What butcher shop are you going to, Mr. Humphrey?
Now, you don't need to go to a butcher shop, Harold, when you live near the highway.
So, you're eating the roadkill, are you there, Dalton?
We're eating all natural, organically raised, free-range, automotively processed food products.
So, Dalton, how do you cook, the roadkill thing?
Well, it's not hard, most of it's already grilled.
But that's got to be tough. There's a lot of some tough meat there, isn't
Well, yeah, some of it's already been pounded to pemmican, but at the point of impact, it's always pretty tender. Yeah, and what you want to do is presentation, because there's nothing like presentation.
Oh, that's true.
To enhance the flavor.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We'll paint a white line down the center of the dining room table. And we'll serve our meal sometimes on a hubcap.
Oh, I can just picture your whole family, bowing their heads for grace. Look both ways before you cry.
Yeah. But, sometimes we'll sing a couple of verses. I got my kicks on Road 66.
Well, I hope you two clowns just remember, you are what you eat.
Well, that's true, Harold. Tell us more about your vegetables.
Welcome to the experts portion of the show where we address those three little words men find so hard to say. I don't know. Those are the words. Oh, today's letter's from a lady. Dear experts, my husband is a total embarrassment.
Well, that could have been written by every woman I know.
Especially when he eats. He picks his teeth, puts his elbows on the table, and makes rude noises. It's gotten so bad, I don't even want to go out to expensive restaurants with him anymore.
Wish I'd thought of that. Oh, boy, I just hate dining out. There's so many little rules of etiquette to remember.
Oh, Dalton, it's simple. You just start with the smaller cutlery on the outside and work your way in.
What do you mean?
You see, Dalton's used to cutlery that comes in a plastic bag with a moist towelette.
Well, you know what the problem is, don't you? This town doesn't have enough fine dining establishments. That's why I'm thinking about opening up my own, eh?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Winston's Hideaway. For people like me.
Oh, yeah? Lonely sewage suckers with no chance for romance? Kind of picturing a lot of tables for one there, Winston.
No. If someone comes in alone, I would just seat them with another eligible single. Kind of a dating service / restaurant thing.
Sounds more like a bad idea / lawsuit thing. No, I'll tell you what this lady needs to do is just, she needs to be able to ignore her husband. Go to a restaurant where they have real low lights and loud music, If she can't see him and can't hear him, you're probably going to get along with him a lot. Or better yet, you know what? Just stay home. That's what Bernice and I do.
And Bernice is able to ignore all your faults?
Well, sure, yeah. She's sitting at one end of the table in the dining room, and I'm lying on the couch in the living room.
Time for the experts portion of the show where we address those three little words men find so hard to say. I don't know. Those are the 3 words. Okay. Dear experts, recently I read in the paper about some guy who has 12 wives. How does that work? Signed, just the one.
I don't know how it works, but I'd like to find out.
Geez, 12 wives, huh? Hate to see that guy's to-do list.
Yeah, you know, this guy and his wives, they probably belong to one of those religious sects, you know, where they allow multiple marriages.
Well, which one's that?
Oh, gosh, there's lots of sects.
No kidding.
Oh, this is S-E-C-T.
Oh.
So you guys, if you had the chance, would you have more than one wife?
Well, I wouldn't mind a few more. And Margaret, Raquel Welch for starters, huh?
You're the one who needs the starter. No.
And that girl on that Friends show?
Oh, which one?
Well, it's the show about that group of friends.
No, which girl?
Oh, one of the blonde ones, the pretty one.
How can you marry someone you don't even know her name?
I'd go through her agent.
What about you, Red? Would you like a bunch of different wives?
No. When it comes to women, I'm more quality than quantity. Especially since the surgery.
You know, you could be right, but I'd die to have a bunch of women looking after me. Fat chance, huh?
No. If Anne Marie is watching, you got a pretty good shot at the dying part.
Welcome to the expert portion of the show where we explore those 3 little words that men often find so difficult to say. I don't know. So true. Okay, joining my Uncle Red on the expert portion of the show this week is, of course, my Uncle Red, Natch, and, of course, his best friend, Dalton Humphrey. Our viewer asks, dear experts, sometimes when my husband goes out, I'll ask him to pick something up for me that I need. He always forgets. Why is that?
Well, maybe he's got one of those extremely reliable and accurate one-item memories. And you've made the mistake of giving him item number 2.
Or, you know, it could be that the item in question is of a highly embarrassing nature.
Like what? What's an embarrassing nature?
Well, say something that's of a so highly personal in nature that it's best left unspoken.
Man, you got me curious now, Dalton.
Well, all right, Red, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a recipe magazine or a comb.
A comb is embarrassing?
Well,
How do you comb yourself, Dalton?
look, Red, maybe it's not embarrassing on the surface, okay?
Right,
but if
yeah.
that's all you're buying,
Yeah.
then people start to look at you funny. You know, they think maybe you've been sent to the store for something real personal and you chickened out and you bought yourself a recipe magazine or a comb. You know?
Yeah.
So you're standing there in the checkout line, boy, sweat's just pouring down your face because you know that everybody in the store is just smirking and trying to imagine what personal thing you got sent out for that you didn't have the guts to buy.
You mean like pantyhose?
Oh! For heaven's sakes, Harold! Have you no shame?
Yeah, okay, Dalton, but what if you only went for like a quart of milk or something?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
You know, on your way to the cooler, you have to go past that rack full of filthy magazines.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't imagine. But what if what if you're just going to mail a letter or something like that? If you're just going to mail a letter or something like that?
A letter. You know the kind of sleazy reputation a letter has. Especially if that letter happens to be of particularly European, dare I say French persuasion.
Man, you are really stepping off the dock on this one.
Wow, boy, Mr. Humphrey, with an attitude like that, your wife can't send you to the store for a single item.
Bingo.
Welcome to the expert portion of the program. Claiming to be an expert this week with my Uncle Red is Mr. Dalton Humphrey.
Our first letter goes as follows. It's from Portland, Oregon. All right. Dear experts, what would be an appropriate gift for my wife on our 25th anniversary?
Well, I would recommend an Olympic medal for endurance.
It have to be a silver medal. Because the 25th anniversary is silver. Gold is actually 50, and then 60 is a diamond, and 100, I believe, is kryptonite.
Yeah, I'd suggest a toaster.
A toaster, Mr. Humphrey? You'd celebrate like a quarter century of wedding bliss with a toaster?
Well, I'm talking a 4-slicer.
Yeah, that seems a tad chintzy to me, Dalton. You know, I think this gift's got to be right up there with the wedding ring.
You did get her a wedding ring, didn't you, Mr. Humphrey?
No, I couldn't. No, money was tied up in inventory. Yep, the Bida Wee Motel closed up, and I bought all their stoves, washers, dryers, and bar fridges. So I gave Anne Marie a washer.
A washing machine is not a very romantic wedding gift.
No, a washer from a garden hose. No, I told her, I said, Anne Marie, this is just an imitation rubber washer. It's old and it's cracked, but for now, it's our wedding ring. And someday I'll get you a proper one when I'm successful.
So she's still waiting, huh? You know what I mean, though, actually? Because you are such a success, you know, and the Humphrey Everything store is doing so well. Oh, yes, congrats, yes.
Harold, I am a man of my word, Harold. And on our 20th anniversary, I got Anne Marie a brand new washer. Painted gold, everything.
And what did she say to that?
Well, nothing. No, kind of surprised me, too. She just burst into tears and ran upstairs. Of course, women cry when they're happy.
She doesn't sound too happy to me about this rubber washer wedding ring thing.
Oh, no, she was. The next day, she cleaned out her bank account, bought herself a brand new car to match it.
Then it was your turn to burst into tears.
Well, men cry when they're happy, right?
This is the experts portion of the program where we address those 3 little words that men find so hard to say. I don't know. Okay, and here's our letter. Dear experts, my wife has a lot of female intuition. She can just look at me and know what I'm thinking. How does she do that? I never have a clue what she's been up to.
Boy, I can relate to that.
Yeah, especially the never having a clue part.
No. I meant it the way that when Anne Marie looks at me, she knows exactly what I'm thinking. Women are just, they're good at that.
No, it's not just women. I mean, I can tell every time somebody looks at me what they're thinking. That's the guy.
No, women don't have any kind of special intuition. Men give themselves away with their body language, that's all.
All right, you mean like walking through the door with your hands up?
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, you know, we're pretty simple machines. We're not hard to figure out. We're like bulldozers, you know? Lots of power, lots of gas. We move things from one place to another. Don't really change anything, you know?
Yeah. You know, women, they're more complicated.
Oh, yeah.
They're like computers, right? You can see what's going on the screen.
Yeah.
But you know by all the humming and whirring that there's something else going on in the background.
Is that why women are so hard to understand?
Well, you ever seen how big a computer manual is, Mike?
Yeah, you see, women have got they got the software and they got the graphics package and they got the huge memory banks.
That's memory with an E. And you gotta press the right buttons or they'll freeze up on you.
Yeah, and all their dads they're looking at them and trying to figure out whether they should get a newer model with a faster operating system or just upgrade the one they've already got and run the risk of getting into bed with yesterday's technology.
No way.
No, don't be doing that, no.
Okay, so you're saying that this viewer doesn't have a ghost of a chance of figuring out the whole female intuition thing because she's as complex as a computer?
Yeah, if he's thinking about getting a newer model or upgrading, she'll be onto him in a port asbestos minute.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You start fooling around with a woman computer, you're going to find out what boot up really means.
Welcome to the expert portion of the show. This is the part of the program where we examine those three little words that men find so hard to say. I don't know. It's because it's true. Okay. Here's today's letter. It goes as follows. Dear expert.
La la la.
I've been happily married for 23 years, but lately an attractive woman at my office has been making passes at me. How can I tell her I'm not interested without hurting her feelings? Has this ever happened to you?
Dalton?
I'm still stuck on the happily married part.
Oh, brother, you guys.
Hey, it's not like we haven't had beautiful young women pursuing us, Harold.
Yeah, that's right. We're just trying to remember what we did in each individual circumstance.
Maybe you woke up?
Any chance you'll ever wake up, Harold?
You know, I remember now. Once I was with Pam Stubbs in Port Asbestos, you know, and there we were, all alone in her office. She reaches over and she closes the door. She starts asking me a whole bunch of personal questions. She reaches over. She starts touching my knee.
She's an arthritis specialist, Dalton.
Yeah, well, okay, well, I suppose all sorts of women are interested in you.
Well, as a matter of fact, I do. Yes, I do. In fact, I do. And the other day, I overheard old man Sedgwick's daughter tell Harold that she really likes my furry beard.
She didn't say she liked your furry beard. What? No, she said she thought you were very weird. Easily confused. Well, I can see, obviously, we need someone here with some, personal experience, which is me, la la la.
This should be good, huh?
Oh. Well, my advice to this viewer is that you simply take the person aside in private and say, although someone as wonderful as them is very tempting, it simply cannot be.
Actually, that's not bad.
Yeah, but what if it doesn't work?
Well, then you gotta be firmer. Yeah, you just say, okay, well, I'm not interested, and I never could be, and you gotta stop hanging out in front of my house. You gotta stop telling your friends that you're going out with me, and if you don't, I'm gonna call the police on you, Harold Green.
Portion of the show. And on this week's expert portion of the show, we have experts, my Uncle Red and his good friend, Dalton Humphrey. Okay, first question goes as follows. Dear experts,
La la la.
all right, how old, whoa, excellent one, okay. How old should a child be before you explain the facts of life to them?
Well, Harold, this really depends on the maturity of the child. Some of them are ready at 13, others aren't ready until, well, how old are you, Harold?
19.
Until they're 21. But I'll tell you, this is one job that no parent wants to do. I'm really glad I won't have to explain the facts of life to anyone. Well, Dalton, how old was your daughter when you told her about the birds and the bees?
Well, that's the wife's job, Red.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, the dad tells the son, wife tells the daughter. It's kind of the natural order of things. And, well, your dad talked to you, right?
Well, no, he just gave me a book by Mickey Spillane called Kiss Me Deadly. And he said, this is what married people do. I thought he meant shoot each other and have car chases. That's pretty much what his relatives did.
Mr. Humphrey, how old was your daughter Tabitha when, your wife told her about the fact, about about it. How old was she when she heard about it?
She hasn't yet. Tabitha's only 20. There's no rush.
But she has a boyfriend, doesn't she, Dalton?
So? You know what? It's puppy love, Red. Totally innocent.
All right.
You know what? I don't think they even kiss yet.
I just thought, because they moved in together.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. No. He sleeps on the couch. Her mother will talk to her when the time's right, all right?
Well, I hope she can get her attention in the delivery room.
This is the experts portion of the show where we feature those three little words that men find so hard to say. I don't know. And today's letter reads as follows. Dear experts, our daughter's about to marry a moron. Oh, is there anything we can do to stop her? And if not, how do we carry on with our lives once we have an idiot in the family?
Okay, well, now, as a father, you know, it's your responsibility to point out that this guy really is stupid, so what you want to do is invite him over for the Trivial Pursuit game, you know? Only instead of a game piece, you make him use your daughter's engagement ring, all right? Every time he gets one wrong, you pry a diamond out of there.
That is so wrong. No, look, marriage is based on mutual respect, not IQ. If you have mutual respect, you don't need anything else.
How many years have you been married, Harold?
Okay, I haven't found the right person yet, but at least I know what I'm looking for.
Yes, unfortunately, so do they. Except for this guy's daughter, who thinks she's looking for a moron, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm in the same boat, you know. Yeah, my daughter's fiancé sure no brainiac. It's so disappointing when your daughter starts going out with a total idiot.
Well, be careful now, Mr. Dalton. They say girls are attracted to men who remind them of their father.
Oh, Harold, come on now. That's ridiculous. I mean, the fact that this guy notices that his daughter's boyfriend is stupid means that he's pretty smart. Because stupid people don't think anything is stupid.
Whereas you think everything is stupid.
Oh, Harold, don't be stereotyping. Don't be stereotyping me.
Well, my advice to this viewer is talk to another couple whose daughter married an idiot.
But there won't be anybody like that until you get engaged.
I was thinking more of Aunt Bernice's parents. In the expert portion of the show, this is where we address those three little words that men find so hard to say.
I don't know.
Yes, you do, because that's for them.
Okay, today's letter goes as follows.
Dear experts.
La la la.
Dear experts, now that I'm older, I've noticed that certain parts of my body don't function as well as they used to.
Oh, for...
My wife says there's no shame in seeking medical assistance, but I want your advice. Should I get a hearing aid? Signed, Phil.
It's okay, he just wants to get a hearing aid.
Does that help?
It's for his ears, Tom. All right, yeah, sure. You know, you can get a hearing aid if you want to, but if you're a middle-aged guy, you know, like, how much are you really missing? You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, at our age, nobody comes up and says stuff like, wow, nice abs. Or, where'd you learn to play guitar like that? Or, what do you think about anything?
Yeah, I agree with Red. I recommend something called selective hearing. You only hear what you want to hear.
That's a great theory.
That's a terrible theory.
Thanks, Red.
Phil, get a hearing aid. It's important to communicate your emotions and thoughts to your loved ones. You gotta stay in the loop.
That's what the hangman used to say.
Okay, look, I know you're both just kidding around, you know, but I do hope you get hearing aids if the time comes.
Well, I think, you know, if my hearing goes, I may get a hearing aid, but Harold, if you go, I will definitely get one.